All right, so could you take a second to just tell us who is CMD? Who is Cay Marie?
Who is Cay Marie Dean? Well, let's see. I am a 27-year-old international servant, engaging speaker, now author, and just a woman who loves God, who really is passionate about people, and in all honesty, just seeing women, and especially youth, just walking in their calling, living their purpose out, and not letting go of who they are, not forgetting that at the core of who they are. That's in a nutshell, I guess, who I am.
All right, so you said now author.
Yes.
This is something new for you. So,
this is new.
So you wrote this book, and
Yes.
What was your influence for the book? What were your influences?
What really influenced me outside of this being a journey that I am actually on, the title is Recommitment. It's not too late.
Right.
And that's something that I'm actually going through right now and experiencing. But as I've been traveling as a former Miss Black USA and acting and different things, I've come into contact with so many women who would just pour out to me their heart about how they needed healing. They were desperate for something different. They wanted that intimacy. They wanted that connection with God. And they were just tired of going into the same patterns, going into bad relationships, and being at a place of being stuck or broken. And so they really were my inspiration, because when I would open up and start sharing my experiences, they'd be shocked, because here you have this Miss Black USA, she's supposed to have it all together, this woman who's intelligent, who is beautiful, and yet she's going through some things. She's not perfect. She has her own story and a journey that they can relate to. And so that's really where a lot of my inspiration came from to write this book.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that journey. Like, what was it before you even started, before you sat down to write this book? What was it, other than those influences, those women who you met along the way? What was it that said, you know what, my story needs to be heard? Like, this is what happened. This specific event, whatever that specific event may be, that made you sit down and write this book. What is that?
Well, that event that led me to Recommit, it really started May 12th, 2008. And I found myself at a place of brokenness. I was hovered over the toilet in a crisis pregnancy center. And at that point, I was just broken. And I was just ready for something new. I was ready to surrender to God. And that part of the sexual impurity was something that I needed to just let go. And so it really started from there, in a crisis pregnancy center at a point of brokenness. Yeah.
You hit on some pretty heavy stuff in this book.
Yes.
These chapter titles are something else. I mean, The Other Woman, for example, like, could you talk a little bit about that at all? Or?
Wow. Yes, I have a chapter called The Other Woman, and basically I'm coming from my experience of my first relationship.
Okay.
I talk a little bit about how I met the gentleman. He was engaged at that time to get married, and I still ended up going in a relationship with him at that point. And so I give an example about that and how it's really not okay. Yeah. It's not a good place to be. It's not something that we should pride on as women, and something that I'm not proud of, but definitely felt the need to talk about, because again, it's my experience, and I've met women who are finding themselves in that position of being the other woman.
So, so talking about this journey, I read recently that Megan Good was someone who waited until she got married. She recommitted herself and waited until she got married to do that. Do you think that this is something that's becoming common in today's society? Is this a trend? Or?
I think that would be great if it is something that's becoming more common, and I think it is. And I have a lot of respect for her for coming out, her and her fiance, now husband, for coming out and actually being bold enough and courageous enough to say, look, we decided to wait until we got married to have sex, and it was an okay thing, and it actually enhanced our relationship. And I definitely think that was a great thing, and I got really excited because here I am wrapping up my book, and I said, wow, it's really great. And I've met a lot of women who are actually on that journey, other women who have gone 8 years or 7 years who have similar stories, and I think we are seeing more women starting to go in that trend, because they are tired of being broken. They are tired of giving all of themselves away and yet still feeling empty at the end of the day. And I believe that's God's desire right now, is to really call his women, his daughters, back unto him, back to the first love, back to that place of healing and being complete women.
So is there any advice you would give to women who may be interested in making that transition and recommitting themselves?
Wow, I definitely think it's really being honest Transparency, I'm a strong believer that transparency is the first step to transformation. So being honest with where you're at, being honest with your struggles with sexual immorality or staying pure or relationships, whatever it is, go before God, let yourself be broken, and just cry out to Him and lay it all at the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is it that you want women to take away with your readers, whoever reads this book? Because I'm interested in reading this too now. So
that's good.
so what is it that you want your readers to take away from your book?
Wow, if anything, what I've learned on this journey is, number one, is to trust God. I noticed that there was a lot of things that I trusted Him with, but there was still a lot of things that I did not trust Him with. And one of those was relationships. One of those was my insecurities, my burdens, and my healing. And so I learned to really trust Him in everything and to put Him first, to forgive. That was something that I really struggled with, was bitterness, anger. But there was something so freeing when I finally allowed myself to just forgive myself, forgive others, forgive the men, forgive the women that I've, have been a part of my journey, and also to forgive God, because there was a point where I was angry with Him, and I had to go through that. So that's the biggest thing, is to have that intimate relationship with God, trust Him, come to a place of brokenness, and really forgive.
Well, thank you for sitting down and having this conversation. I think this is going to be an amazing book. Like I said, I can't wait to read it, and I'm sure there are other gentlemen out there who want to read it as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much, Quentin,
awesome.
for your time. And I'm really excited, and I'm really humbled just for this opportunity, and hopefully it will fulfill its purpose.